Okay, good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, switch on your videos, everyone. Okay. Yeah, which was the topic that we were discussing?
Psychological cues.
Huh?
Psychological cues.
Psychological cues, otherwise known as
Monocular.
monocular cues. What are the monocular cues, Rena? Give me the first five.
Relative size,
Relative size, then relative size, interposition or overlapping,
interposition or linear
linear
perspective.
perspective. One more perspective was there. Something shaped like this we saw. Something related to sky and air. There is a Disney princess named after this. What all clues am I giving?
Ariel.
Ariel. See the clues working. Yeah, aerial perspective. Then,
Aerial perspective.
so with relative size, you can learn relative height also. You can connect it, make it a pair. Then with linear perspective, you can make a pair with aerial perspective. So four are done. Then you have light and shade, texture gradient. Yes. Then you have motion parallax. Finally, everything gets into motion. Motion parallax. Okay. Those are the monocular cues. Now we learn about the binocular cues, which are also known as, what are they otherwise known as, Amal? You'll get the answer now. What is it known as?
Ma'am, ma'am, binocular.
Look here, man. Look here.
Physiological.
Physiological cues. So monocular is known as psychological cues. Binocular is known as physiological cues. The binocular, I told you to relate with biology. B. Ashish, are you listening to me? Can he hear me or not? God. Ashish, can you hear me? Ashish. Oh God. Ashish. Ashish. Different tones of Ashish. 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 Oh God. Can somebody else call him? Can you hear me, Ashish? Can anybody call him, please? This is my problem. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Then Elvina, please call Ashish. No, I'm serious. Just call him.
Ashish.
Where is he? Left. Did he leave? Did he leave? Okay, might be connection problem. It's okay. So connect the B with the biology. Okay, binocular biology. Biology means physiology. You have to know that biology is connected with physiology first, and then you connect binocular with biology, then with physiology. Okay? Please don't confuse everything. Now, if I ask binocular cues, other name, you'll write biological cues. I know. Ashish is back. Oh God. Everybody please pray. Ashish has to hear my sound. Ashish?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, thank God. Ashish, binocular cues are otherwise known as?
The psychological cues.
Come on, correct answer. Binocular cues are also known as psychological cues, isn't it? Can you see the screen, Ashish?
Yes.
What is it written there?
Blur.
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 Blur. Okay, I'll share it once more. Just for Ashish, I'm stopping to share and I'm sharing once more. Things we do in love. Just like that, things we do for students. See? Is it blur or clear?
Clear.
Clear. Okay. See, what is the other name for binocular cues?
Physiological clues.
What?
Physiological.
What?
Physiological.
Physiological cues. So I was telling, connect the binoculars B with the biology. B, both are B. Okay, so that you won't confuse. Biology is related to physiology. Okay? Ashish, understood? Don't tell me that I had
Yes.
network issue. I have told this point once more. And I'm telling the point some 5th or 6th time today. Okay? Yeah, got the point?
Yes.
Will you make a mistake in this?
No.
Then this is a sure question.
Huh?
Binocular cues. The other name for binocular cues is a sure question, or the other name for monocular cue. Either of them will come for the exam. If you make a mistake, then I'll see. Huh? Okay. So unlike the so many terms that we had to learn in the monocular cues, we just have 3 points in binocular cues. Because this requires more effort, we require 2 eyes. Binocular cues, we see them or we perceive them with the help of 2 eyes. Okay? 2 eyes. Fine. The first one is retinal or binocular disparity. Now, I want you all to do one activity. Place your thumb in front of you, in front of your eyes. Just like doing a thumbs up. Facing me, your thumb facing me. Place it, in front of your eyes, here. Okay? And what you have to do is close one eye and see the thumb and its background. Close one eye, see, first close the left eye. Everybody close the left eye first. Raina searching for the left side now. Okay. Yeah. Close the left eye, then see see the thumb and its background. First focus on the thumb, then the background first. Okay? And don't change the position of the thumb. Now close the right eye and see that. Close the right eye and see the thumb and its background. Has something changed? People at home will think that you have gone mad. This is how you learn psychology. Yeah. Did you notice anything that has changed? Amal? Yes. What did you notice? Unmute.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
it will change position according
It will
to.
change in position. So that is retinal disparity. I show you the picture and it will be clear. Did you experience something similar to this? Yes? Yeah. I used to play this thing when I was small. When I was in the what stage? What stage in human development?
Childhood.
Childhood, yes. And to everyone's surprise, I still do it. I don't know why. Okay. So this is retinal disparity. Meghna, please read. This is the last period, don't worry. So don't feel sleepy. After this, you can sleep and eat and do whatever you want. No problem.
Second paragraph.
Retinal or binocular disparity, that topic.
Retinal or binocular disparity. Retinal disparity occurs because the two eyes have different locations in our head.
Yes.
They are separated from each other horizontally by a distance of about 6.5 centimeters.
Agree
Because
to
of-
that fact? Two eyes are separated or two eyes are placed at two different positions on the head? Agree? Everybody agree? Any objection? Okay, no. Continue.
Because of this distance, the image formed on the retina of each eye of the same object is slightly different.
Hmm.
This difference between the two images is called retinal disparity.
Okay.
The brain
Disparity means difference. Retinal disparity means the image formed on two retinas. They are different or they have some form of disparity. Okay. That's why, when we open both the eyes and see, we see only one image, no? That is the combined form of the images formed on the left retina and the right retina, or sorry, on the from the left eye and the right eye. Okay. Yes. Now continue.
The brain interprets a large retinal disparity to mean a close object and a small retinal disparity to mean a distant object, as the disparity is less for distant objects and more for the nearer objects.
Okay. So if you do that activity once more, no need to do now. You can try it at home. The Just a minute, Ashish. Yeah. So if you do that, you can notice that the objects that are close to you, they seem to have larger amount of retinal disparity, and objects that are very far away, they seem to have less amount of retinal disparity. Okay, so that's about our retinal disparity. Now we have the next one is convergence. Convergence, again, place your any of your finger in front of your eye in an arm's distance. Place it at an arm's distance, just like this. Everybody, Amal went to drink tea. I gave you time in the beginning. Why did you go? Where did you go? Okay, everybody, place any of your finger at an arm's distance. Okay, look at the finger. Ashish, place any of your finger at an arm's distance. You can't hear me? God. Okay, everybody else, please place. Look at the finger then. Ashish is very aggressive. What happened? Just a minute, guys. Put your hand down. Sorry. What happened to him? Did he leave? I think he has some connection problem. Okay, let's do the activity. Yeah, fingers again. Back to position. Look at the finger. Focus on the finger. Okay, and then move it towards your eyes, towards the center part. Look at it and move towards the center part. What did you observe? Okay, we'll Elvina, can you demonstrate, please? Yeah, place the finger and just move it towards the middle. Please don't take your eyes off it. Okay, everybody observe what Elvina is doing. Yeah, start. Little bit more. Okay, so what happened? Yeah, so Aishwarya, read that. Convergence.
Convergence. When we see a nearby object, our eyes converge inward in order to bring the image on the fovea of each eye.
1 minute, 1 minute. So when the finger was placed here, that is at a distance, and when the finger was placed here at this distance, the images were different and the focus was different. So did you see Elvina's eyes coming towards each other? Notice that? No. Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
No. I'll show that. See? Can you see? No. Now did you see?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We show that to kids, no, this thing. Yeah, that's convergence. The eye comes towards each other, they converge. That's given in this picture. The technical physical thing is given in the picture. You don't have to learn this, don't worry. I just put the picture to make you understand this is the process happening. Okay. When the object is here, that is the rectangle black thing, that is the object. And when it is far away, then the eyes are like that. See the eyes? Those are the eyes. Okay. Pictorial representation of eyeballs. And the third one, you can see they have converged because the object has come closer. Okay, they have converged. So when we see a nearby object, our eyes converge inward in order to bring the image on the fovea of each eye. So if you do it with one eye, will it converge? No. That is why this is known as a binocular cue. Same with the other one also. Okay, if you if you have only vision in one of your eye, sorry, that shouldn't happen, but imagine you have imagine some other hypothetical person having the vision only in one eye, and that person would be able to see only either of the picture, either from the left eye or from the right eye, depending on which one has the vision. But you can have a combined vision of both these. That is why this is also known as a binocular cue. Understood the two? Retinal disparity and convergence? Okay. Now the third one is accommodation. Accommodation we have learned in the topic sensation. The human eye, we have learned accommodation. The ciliary muscles, they adjust the lens and the parts of the eye related to that, and then we can focus on different objects. Grishma, read that. Accommodation.
Accommodation. Accommodation refers to a process by which we focus the image on the retina with the help of ciliary muscle.
Okay, mark that. Mark that first sentence. That is important. We focus on the we focus the image on the retina with the help of ciliary muscles. That is accommodation. Continue.
These muscles change the thickness of the lens of the eye.
Yeah.
If the object gets away more than 2 meters, the muscle is relaxed. As the object moves nearer, the muscle contracts and the thickness of the lens increases.
Yes.
The signal about the degree of contraction of the muscle is sent to the brain, which provides the cue for distance.
Okay, so what happens is this particular ciliary muscle, this helps, this pulls. If imagine there is a lens in between my hands, and these my hands are the ciliary muscles. So depending on the distance of the image, to focus it, the ciliary muscles pulls and pushes the lens. Okay, so as a result, the lens might flatten, or it might contract, or it might elongate in such a way to focus the image on the retina. That is accommodation, the process through which this particular ciliary muscle focuses or adjusts the lens and then focuses the image on the retina. Understood? That is accommodation. So these are the three binocular cues, which are also known as what cues? What cues? Otherwise known as?
Physiological cues.
Physiological cues. So that's about the cues. Understood? Any topic? I'm asking any topic. Any doubt? Any doubt in that? Okay, if we finish fast, I'll leave you fast. Next is perceptual constancies. Perceptual constancies. Okay, write down the definition. Perception of the objects as relatively stable you can look at the screen and write if you want. Perception of the objects as relatively stable in spite of changes in the stimulation of sensory receptors is called perceptual constancy. perception of the objects as relatively stable in spite of changes in the stimulation of sensory receptors is called perceptual constancy. Okay, what this definition means is that whatever stimulation or whatever changes in stimulus happens, we perceive the thing as a constant. Okay, now if the color of something changes because of different light, but we perceive the thing as a constant color. Like when we wear a white dress and when we go for a disco party, our white dress will take the color of the disco light. Yes, but we know, we perceive it as a, if someone comes and asks you what color, which color is her dress, then you will answer white. Yes or no? Because you have already perceived it as white. That is perceptual constancies. We have three types of perceptual constancies. The first one is size constancy. Look at the picture. The first picture, you're seeing this view. Okay, imagine you're seeing this view on the left, and the person standing in front appears bigger and the person standing in the back side appears a bit smaller because the person is farther away from us. This is which cue, cue in that we studied? Anybody? The closer things, yeah,
Relative size.
relative size. This is relative size. So what we do is we see the retinal image on our retina, that is formed in the back of the eye. That says that the person on the front, that is bigger, and the person on the back is smaller. Okay, but if we didn't have the size constancy, then we would perceive it as something seen on the right side. Even if the person comes closer to us, the person appears to be, or it is perceived as small. But actually what happens, we know that the person is tall only. Yes? Yes or no? Confused? Got confused? Tube light is not yet on. Okay, I'll wait. Let's read. Who will read? Amal, can you read? Size constancy.
The size of an object on our retina changes with the change in the distance of the object from the eyes.
Hmm.
The further away it is, the smaller is the image.
Hmm.
On the other hand, our experience shows that within limit, the object appears to be about the same size irrespective of its distance.
Okay. Finished?
For example,
No.
Mama, for example, when you approach your friend from a distance, your perception of the front size does not change much despite the fact that the retinal image becomes larger.
Hmm.
It is a tendency of the perceived size of the object to remain
Relatively
relatively unchanged
unchanged with
with
changes
the
in.
change in the distance from the observation and size of the retinal image is called the size constancy.
Okay. So understood the example? When your friend is coming from a very very long distance, you can see him or her. And again, as Reina showed the door, you can view the friend in between your fingers. Yes? He or she will be that small because we are standing at a very long distance. But you know that person, when he approaches, he or she is as tall as you, or about your age, about your height and weight. Yes, because you have a size constancy, which means whatever stimulation you have, that is, whatever image you get on the retina, whatever stimulus you see, you know its constant size. You perceive only its constant size. So whatever stimulation in the visual field happens, you perceive the size as constant. Okay? That is the size constancy. This is a very simple concept. Don't complicate it. Size constancy means whatever stimulation comes, the size is perceived as constant. Okay. Similarly, with the shape constancy and brightness constancy, whatever stimulation we get, we perceive the shape as constant. Whatever stimulation we get, we perceive the brightness as constant. Those are the other two things. The shape constancy, I'll show you. See, we are looking at the door. We have the door at different positions. The first one is a closed door. So you know that the door is of this particular shape. Okay. And then when your mom comes and open the door and leave the place, you have a tilted shape. But do you perceive that as a trapezium? The second one, do you perceive it as a trapezium or still a triangle? I mean, sorry, rectangle. Which one will you perceive it as? Did you understand my question? Okay, I'll repeat. You know that the door is of rectangle shape. Yes or no? Then somebody from your house comes to your room, then leaves without closing the door. So it is a bit open, as in the second picture. Okay. And if somebody else, your sister comes and asks you, what shape is it? Then what will you answer? What shape is the door? Rectangle, yes. Because you know that the shape is constant. Just because it has moved a bit doesn't mean that its shape has changed. But the image that we get in the retina is of a trapezium, no? See, in the second and third picture, you have trapeziums. But you know that the shape is constant. The shape is still rectangle. Even if it is open, see the fourth picture? Even it is completely open, you can see a stick there instead of a door. In the image, you see a stick. But you know that it is a door. It has a rectangle shape. You know that it is just opened. That is shape constancy. Whatever stimulation from the visual field we get, or whatever stimulation from the sensation we get, the perception of the shape remains constant. That is constancy. Whatever stimulation changes, or whatever changes are made in the stimulation or the stimulus or the object that you see, the shape remains constant, the size remains constant, and brightness also remains constant. I'll show you the example for brightness. This is brightness constancy. See, it is the same thing in different lightings or different brightness or intensity of light. But even if the light keeps on changing, you know that the banana is red in color. What color is it? Banana is
Yellow.
yellow in color. Orange is
Orange in color.
pear is
Light green.
light green in color. And we have apple. Isn't that apple with green and red shade? I hope so. Strawberry is again red in color. So even in the last picture, you can see that it is more of a purple or a kind of brownish red in color, no? But you know that essentially, or at the end of the day, the strawberry is again which color?
Red.
Red. Yeah, that's the brightness constancy. You perceive it as of same brightness. So imagine in the morning, your father bought some strawberries and your mom told that you can't eat it now because tomorrow she wants to make a strawberry pie. And she is saving it in the fridge. But you are a very much, you were craving for strawberry that day. Any strawberry fans? I saw you smiling. That's why I'm asking. Yeah. So you are very much craving for strawberries, and at night when everybody slept off, you are slowly peeping out of your room. You go to the kitchen. You open the fridge, and there is no much light there. But you put it on your table. You can't switch on the light because others would wake up. So you see the strawberry. What color will you see? Or what color will you perceive? What color will you interpret of the strawberry?
Red.
Red again, because you have brightness constancy. Okay, the brightness constancy means the color or the brightness, depending on the intensity of light, the visual images changes. It keeps on changing based on different light, because when we look at the afternoon, when we look in the evening, the shades will differ, because there is only so much light in, so there's only little light in the evening and there is so much of light in the afternoon. Okay, that's why it is changing, but we perceive or interpret it as red color only. That is brightness constancy. So in all the three constancies, what you have to write is, whatever stimulation comes, whatever changes in the stimulation happens, whatever changes in the stimuli are made, whatever happens, the size remains constant, the shape remains constant, the brightness remains constant, and these are known as size constancy, shape constancy, as well as brightness constancy respectively. Understood? Sharp 5:40. Finished. And we have illusion, and then we'll finish the chapter. We have 2 more chapters remaining. Or I should say, we have only 2 more chapters remaining. Okay, that's a positive message. Okay, hectic day, no? I saw you all going from one class to the next class, from one board to the next board. You can just click the link, but we are running from one floor to the next floor. Okay, fine. Take rest then. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.